Chairman, I appreciate Undersecretary Nuland your work and your testimony today and yesterday, and the work that you do for our country. I wish to associate myself also with the comments of the chairman and the ranking member. We are united in our commitment to a free and sovereign nation in Ukraine. I want to associate myself with the comments of Senator Portman last night as he spoke about the resilience and strength and character of the people of Ukraine and his conviction that were they to ever be invaded by a foreign foe like Russia, that they would stand aggressively and defend themselves. And if perchance they were unsuccessful in ultimately having victory, that there would be insurgency that would continue, that would make sure that anyone who invaded them suffered a very high price for having done so. I'd like to associate myself with the comments of Senator Cruz as well, who indicated that the decision by this administration and prior administrations to allow the completion of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline contributed to Russia's feeling that they could amass troops on the border and potentially use their threat to obtain something that they deeply desire. I'm one of those that looks at Russia, and I guess I'll associate myself with Senator Barrasso's comments that he was quoting, I think, Senator McCain, saying that Russia is a mafia-run gas station parading as a country. And Russia has real problems. Their population is declining, their industrial base is weak, but they have extraordinary natural resources. And as I look at Russia, I'm concerned that their ambition does not stop with Ukraine, but that Putin's ambition personally is much broader, and that what happens in Ukraine is an appetizer for a growing appetite on his part. And would like to get your perspectives on what you believe, or what the administration believes Putin's ambition is, where he intends to lead his troops and his nation over the coming years, and whether his efforts in Ukraine are the beginning or the end of his sense of legacy.
Well, thank you, Senator, for all those opening comments. I'll just say again here that I work very hard not to live inside the brain of President Putin, so I'm not going to speculate what his end state would be. I would simply say that one should have considerable concern when you look at the public statements that he's been making with increasing frequency, including over the last 6 months, to the effect that Russia and Ukraine are one nation, et cetera, and not respecting their sovereignty and territorial integrity, and his laments about the death of the Soviet Union. You know, I have had the pleasure and the honor to know so many Russians over so many decades, ever since I was a student and was there not too long ago, and it is my firm belief that the citizens of Russia don't want a war with Ukraine. They don't want body bags coming home. They want better health care, better schools, better roads, better broadband. They want to live better, and President Putin could so much more worthwhile serve his own people at this moment when we are all having to build back better. So I hope that he thinks about what he owes his own people before seeking to acquire more territory.
I think I share your desire not to live within President Putin's brain. At the same time, there are elements that we obviously look at and try and draw inferences from. One relates to something that is not connected to Ukraine, but that is his commitment to his nuclear arsenal. I think there were many of us that were hoping that as our arsenals respectively got older and would be retired, potentially, that we could reduce our nuclear investment and could shrink our nuclear armament. Obviously, China joining the nuclear race would have changed that to a certain degree. But Russia took a different course. Putin decided to invest massively, not so-called build back better, but to completely modernize his nuclear arsenal. What is the status of that at this stage, and how does that compare to our own?
Well, thank you, Senator. We'll get you a fulsome briefing, but simply to say that the The New START treaty that was negotiated some 10 years ago and which was extended by the administration caps the long-range nuclear arsenal, but you are right that President Putin continues to augment intermediate-range forces and short-range nuclear forces, as well as build new exquisite weapons like his hypersonics, which are outside of any arms control regime, and to try to compete with the in building up their long-range conventional forces as well, which is why President Biden at the Geneva summit in June pressed President Putin, and Putin did agree to get back into strategic stability talks bilaterally. And we've had 2 rounds of those, so I would say we're still at the nascent stage to try to come to some to try to get back into arms control, to try to reduce the threat from these weapons and try to deal with asymmetries and concerns.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.